Greetings, adventurers. Today we're excited to introduce you to a new story, Dark Dice, a horror podcast that blurs the line between actual play and audio drama, where the story is determined by the roll of the dice. 6 adventurers embark on a journey into the ruinous domain of the Nameless God. They will never be the same again. One of the players is not what they seem after a doppelganger, a creature that can assume the form and voice of whatever it kills, infiltrates the team. As the players are picked off and replaced one at a time, can they figure out who the monster is before it's too late? Can you? In addition to a full-blown fantasy soundtrack with over 30 live medieval instruments and a 40-person choir, sound effects further enhance the story. Here's a quick example of what that sounds like.
The shambler with the jar of liquid inside of him.
Soren Arkwright let loose an arrow that cracked the glass, passing through the spine of the creature. The shambler still managed to maintain its forward momentum, but stumbled as it eagerly tried to bite and swipe at Soren, landing near his feet. As Rowena struck the shambling creature near Soren, she shattered the canister in its stomach, sending its liquid contents spilling to the ground. With a rush of liquid, the small fetus fell too, twitching and moving toward Rowena.
I'm gonna punt you.
Rowena launched the fetus into the mouth of the mimic with a kick. So if you dare, gamble your sanity and subscribe to Dark Dice however you listen to podcasts, or on Spotify. Dark Dice can also be streamed at darkdicepod.com.
Hello, welcome to Rise of the Veiled Alliance, Tales from the Silt Expanse. How's everyone doing today? Could be morning, could be evening, I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, hope you're having a lovely time at the moment. Anyway, let's pick up where we left off, where Tales from the Silt Expanse is no longer in said Silt Expanse. Hello everyone, welcome to the Green Moon of Gulg. No, it's not Gulg, the Green Moon of Guthay, that's it. Lots of things beginning with G. The moons of Guthay, where the yuan-ti maybe come from, where all roads must come to some kind of snaky end, we shall see. But before we dive in too deeply and find out what happened to the ship, the Sirocco, burning brightly crashed into the trees above this strange verdant place, let's go round and say hello to everyone, starting with Tobias.
Hi.
Hiya.
I'm wearing my
Right,
my lucky t-shirt today. Which I got from
Matt
did Matt give us that, or was it from
Appa's got it for you.
the editor
Editor of Dragon Plus.
Dragon Plus.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of Christophson die. Also, this neckerchief I'm wearing is the item of clothing I own, which most reminds me of Rysar. It's kind of like a desert silky thing going on. Got some
Very
bling
nice.
on today. Got my you can't see it at all. Got a snake and eagle. Gong Fi.
And you're wearing a Cockney flat cap because you wanted to sell apples and pears today.
Well, last week, if you remember, I was wearing a kuffir which was stolen from the style of K-Tort called Delicious, as was this mustachio. So I'm like the Tarantino of streamers. This week's homage is
that is not a
Fry.
title anyone wants. No one wanted that title. No one asked for it.
He's a dodgy ass motherfucker as well. I'll tell you that from the inside right now when it all comes out. Anyway,
No shit.
I'm Toby. I go by he, him pronouns, as does Rysar Uwathamir, my character. Rysar does not mean risk in Elven. It means something else.
What does it?
None of us thought it. Okay. Kenna, hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yep.
How's things?
It's going okay. It's going good. I have to follow up on that somehow and not feel weird about it. So let's just go. I'm
We all
Kiana.
have-
My
We all have
pronouns
to
are
live
she,
with Toby. This
they.
is just a thing that happens.
Yeah. I play Vickers, whose pronouns are they, them. They are the little chaotic rat person of the group. And then their brother, who's also a little chaotic rat person. Just stabbed a bunch of bugs last week. It's just chilling now by a burning ship. It's all good.
I mean, that's a metal album cover waiting to happen, that is. It's great. Thank you very much, Ken. Lovely to see you as always. K-Tort, the K-Tort.
Hello, it is I, the
Okay.
K-Tort, also known as Kronqual. He goes by he, him. I am Cord, or Mythomatic. I also go by he, him. Very excited today. We are in some sort of foreign jungle land. Kronqual last episode tapped into that jungle land and somehow gained druidic powers, which is pretty cool. He also almost died due to maggots. We're not going to talk about that story, but we'll just focus on this one today.
I think
Thank
we
you.
can fairly say that the maggots are done. We have completed the
For now.
maggot arc.
When you rescue Burrow, and no.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You saved Kronqual's life by stabbing him repeatedly.
Right.
How's it
That's how you
I
going?
do
tried to shoot him as well.
I'm just loving our story of friendship. Really good friendship. The kinds of friends who would stab each other, shoot each other, whatever it takes. I'm pumped. I'm Don. My pronouns are he, him. I play Gulag, the half-giant ranger cleric, whose pronouns are also he, him. And we should not have ever been entrusted with this amazing ship and the orb. Obviously, whoever gave it to us, whoever decided that we should be bestowed this great gift, overestimated what we would do with it. But I'm ready to see what happens next beneath this burning bow.
Thank you. Very kind. And a lovely description there, too. Bree, hello.
Hello. My name is Bree, or Brito, and my pronouns are she, they, and Kita is she, her. Last episode, she was planking. That was her development in things, and she did absolutely nothing. So,
Dice gods did not roll in your favor. Absolutely not. No.
not at all. So yeah, now that she's not paralyzed anymore, hopefully she can be useful. So yeah.
Well, let's dive into being useful. That's what today's going to be all about. Being useful. I'm Chris, and I use he and they. And without further ado, let us get to the forest moon of Guthay. No Ewoks. You are all standing underneath, not directly underneath, you're not morons, but nearby, the burning shipwreck of the Sirocco, caught in various vines and trees hanging above you in pieces. The ship is ruined. It is also on fire because you lot can't help yourselves. And what you note as it is burning merrily is the ship itself is burning, but where the wood is touching the trees, where it is touching these vines, the fires are quickly subsiding. The ship is already a burnt-out husk, but the parts of it where it's impacting parts of this rainforest, the sheer dampness and fecundity. There it is. The fecundity of the air and water around you. It is just, this whole environment is wet, dripping, moist, damp. In a way that for all of you is a bit shocking and a bit strange, and you're still trying to wrap your head around. You come from an environment where water is an incredibly valuable commodity, worth its weight in gold. And here it's just literally dripping from the trees around you. Some of you have experienced places like the island you were going to, Schult, or some of the green fields further north. So the idea of water and running water is not completely alien to you. But at this level, in this state, is alien, odd.
What
would you all like to do?
I think Kronqual is probably underneath the burning wreckage, focusing on himself, focusing. His eyes go white, and he focuses on his fortress. And it is a sand mound with a hole in it. But I think as he focuses on it, and the more he focuses in the inside of it where he dwells, I think we start to see plants start to sprout up around it until it is a lush jungle. And his little hatch, what I used to call it, the hatching ground is now in a foreign jungle land. And while he's there, you also hear a lapping of water that is echoing the water that we hear around us, or whatever that sound may be. But he is splashing around, I think, inside of his mind fortress, kind of bathing himself in that water, exploring what that feels like. But I'm also exploring what druid spells feel like, and I'm going to use both of my healing word and my cure wounds to heal myself during this time.
Sure, this is your mental fortress. This is your mind palace.
Yeah.
Within that, as you heal yourself, you do hear a strange echo. It's not so much a voice calling out to you, but you recognize the psychic resonance of the Sirocco, of the ship floater orb, the thing that made up the ship itself, not the wood, not the pieces of it, but the living, strange orb in the center of it that seemed to hold its personality and character.
Sirocco. And I think in the middle of that, it echoes probably within his mind, but then it also snaps back to reality as his eyes come back, and they're the dark pits again. And he just eagerly looks at everybody and says, "The Sirocco is in danger." And he looks up at the fire.
The echo that you got gave you a sense of direction, and it's away from the burning ship.
Oh. He kind of looks into, off into the distance towards where that sound is coming from.
Would everyone like to roll me perception checks?
Would I also be a part of that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, if you like. Anyone can.
Could I do survival? And I want to look for tracks, trails, anything that might suggest what kinds of creatures are around.
Absolutely fine.
Especially any snaky creatures, any large snaky creatures I'm interested in.
Is that you talking, Don, or is that Gulag talking?
It's Gulag. It's Gulag. Because he saw the portal. He knows that that's where they are, and that's where Caesar was taken through, right? So.
Yep.
Whew.
What we got?
I got a nat 20.
Nice. Okay. Nat 20. Ted?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. 3.
17.
17. The Katort. 30. Okay. Gulag, what was your survival check?
A natural 1. So a 9.
Gulag, as you... No, it's a natural 1. You and I both know where 1 is a 1 is a 1.
No, I
Don't
know.
do this
I
to
know.
yourself. As you are looking
really
around this space, as you're looking around this space, trying to get a better sense of it around, you just... you just start, like... There's flies everywhere, and there's insects everywhere, and there's small critters everywhere, and the noise, as you start to, like... Hang on, let me try and get a better sense of my like your spider sense is overwhelmed. It's just this, there's too much stuff, and you find yourself completely like, I can't focus. I don't know. It's too much stuff. It's too much for you.
Boss, I hate it here.
Really?
Rickus, Risa, Gita, Kronquil. Rickus, you get more, but all of you get the sound of running water, which is something all of you would have some experience of, like water being poured into a receptacle is not news to you, but that sound is permanent and continuous. Kronquil, you get that most notably in the direction where you felt the psychic presence of the Sirocco. Kita, what you get alongside that with a 17 is you also start to hear an almost like rhythmic crashing and then an almost like rattling noise. It's waves. Crashing and rattling. Rysar, with your dirty 20, on top of that, you can also hear a sort of low roar, like a sort of a rhythmic, low sort of rumble. Rickus, combining all of those things together, would Rickus have a particular experience of water, a particular like memory they can draw on about water that might be able to link all of this together in their mind to make sense of this?
I think at one point, Rickus and the little group of thieves that they used to run with, they managed to hijack one of those merchant groups coming in, having to pass through the maze to get into the actual part of the city, and that particular cargo had a lot of water in it, and I think they didn't realize, and they broke open one of the barrels, and it started pouring out onto the street before they were able to recover all of it.
The sound of the water, that barrel falling and the water sort of sloshing violently and spilling out, that fall, you reckon you hear the sound of running water, of a large body of water sloshing back and forth, but larger than you can possibly conceive of, but also the definite sound of water falling.
Yeah, so I think you see Rickus's head kind of like tilt all the way off to the side as they listen.
What were you saying?
I was gonna ask, how exactly wet is everything getting? Because it would start to affect Kita, definitely.
The dampness in the air around you, yeah, it's definitely affecting you. You're starting to feel some of your fire starting to simmer down a bit.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. Because my heart is made of fire. And if it gets affected, then that's not great. So okay.
Yay! Everything's fine. Are you all heading in the direction of all of this sort of watery noise?
Could I just lean down and like touch a leaf and sort of try and get some of the moisture off it, and then just put it on my tongue and taste it?
Sure. Roll me a con saving throw.
You're not joking, are you?
No. You just literally drank water off the ground. What did you think was going to happen?
Off a leaf? Right, hang on. Oh. I was like, Why is it green, but it's a 19? Because my natural 20 was reduced by 1.
It is fresh, clear, beautiful water, and you don't get ringworm.
There's water everywhere. Let's go and check out the sound.
Just, be careful.
Be quick.
And we'll find a place to camp. I'm extremely tired. I'm sure the rest of you are too, but I must see this.
I'm all right.
If you move
would be
towards
big man.
if you move towards the sound and start making your way towards this, you can make your way through the jungle. It's not like it's a strange environment. You're sort of treading on undergrowth and plant. You're able to move around them with some, but you are tourists. You are walking through this going, I don't know how any of this works. Like just making your way through where Gulag would normally be guiding you to be cautious and move around things. You are just stumbling through shit. You're just making your way through, no idea what you are doing. And eventually up ahead, you stumble to a view that none of you can quite comprehend. In front of you, the forest clears, and there is a swift-running river of water, slightly brownish in tint, but it's about like 20 feet across, and it runs quite quickly, and it runs in front of you away at an angle, and then vanishes over a cliff edge. Beyond that cliff edge is an ocean of water.
What?
And Kronqual starts stamping in it.
Mm-hmm. You can... That's fine.
Yeah, I want to sort of run my hand in it and feel it.
It's water. It's it looks, looking at it, it's got some like, it's much like other water you have experienced. It's got stuff in it. Like, it's not clean, clear, beautiful, crystalline. It's a lived-in jungle. But yeah, it's running water.
Yeah, Kita is starting and kind of just looking really uncomfortable and tense and just freaking out at the sight of the ocean.
Yeah.
Gulag also looks uncomfortable. He doesn't get that close to the running water. I imagine maybe he stays kind of close to Kita. He's just cut through maybe like some weird alien plant to clear the way through, and he comes through and he sees
Tree.
this.
On this tree.
He doesn't know whatever.
Weird alien plant. Tree.
Yeah, right. Tree. Yeah. He hangs back with Kita. Is Kita physically, visibly changing? Is there something noticeable?
Her like her veins are starting to fade, and like just this low smoke is just like coming off of her skin now.
Okay. He ducks his head low.
Sorry.
And says, Kita, are you all right? Are you in pain?
I don't know. I just feel off. I guess it doesn't hurt, but I'm starting to get weaker.
What do you need? Do you need us to find somewhere dry, or?
Yeah, preferably with heat, if possible. But I don't know if it's possible in this environment. So I'm just gonna.
Hey, we can find somewhere dry enough. We can make heat. I'll keep an eye out. And just you hang in there, okay?
I'll try.
I think Gulag will let the others explore the ocean because he is very like even looking at it terrifies him, because he's never seen anything that massive. And he's well traveled. He doesn't know exactly where they are. And he doesn't know what's underneath of that water, all of that water. He has no idea what is beneath, and he doesn't want to think about that. So he's going to instead do everything he can to try to find, I don't know, a cave somewhere that might be more dry. Maybe they could start a fire, you know.
If you move towards the edge of the cliff, because this is all just fast running water with forest either side, there is no like eddy or pool you could easily think. If you move forward, looking over the edge of this cliff, there is a sheer drop of about maybe 75 feet or so, and the water just goes over the edge of this drop and seems to fall directly into what looks like just this water is not still. It's not a pond. It has waves. And these waves roll and crash into the rocks beneath you and on an obvious shoreline beneath you as well. There is a sort of beach underneath, but it's pebbly. Like it's all sort of small rocks being moved. And every time the wave crashes in, it drags some of the rock out with it and then washes it back in again and drags. And this sort of very strange noise you don't quite comprehend. Looking down from here, you can see, if you're not looking out to sea, if you're looking just down, looking for caves and that sort of thing, that there are indentations under the waterfall that you could sort of move into, but they all look very damp. Like there's nowhere here looks dry. What you also see down, if you look far enough down, is the very familiar pink glint of the ship floater orb. It is in the water. It's sort of rolling gently on the tide near the bottom by the waterfall. And there's something in the water next to it. You can't see from here. It looks like a body.
You point that out to anybody else. Kind of like apologize to Kita. I will keep looking for somewhere dry, but when I think that orb from the ship, it's right down there. There's something else there too. I can't quite tell what it is, but there's something else down there too.
Kronqual, at this point, Kronqual is bent over, filling up his water skin. Water's making him uneasy as well, as though he is a turtle. He is a desert turtle, so he's like he knows what it is, and he's thankful for it. But he is very sensitive to it, so it's very cold to him. It's probably much more cold than it should be. But yeah, he fills up his the water skin and he puts it over his shoulder or his shelter, and then makes his way over to the cliffside. And
no. Are you looking down? Are you also looking out? Because as
looking towards
John described, Gulag is not looking out over the water at all.
Yeah, he's looking towards where the orb is.
Cool. If you look down towards the orb and take in the scene, so you can see more of the ocean, if you will, you see that this forest, it extends around. There's almost like a bay, and you're in a part of this bay which extends out and around. And looking out and around, you can see what looks like a city on the coastline. There's a city in the forest, in this jungle. Visible, these red metal pyramid shapes are growing out of it at various points, and you recognize that shape. You've seen it before. It's the same shape as you saw on Schold. You can also see a whole bunch of ships, which you realize they all look a bit like the Sirocco, because these are ships. They are designed to go on the water. And there's a harbor space around there too. It's a good couple of miles from here, but there is a very definite location nearby that you could move towards if you wanted to. But yes, the ship floater orb is in the water. There is what looks like a body in the water with it, and it's sort of rolling gently with the tide. But it's close in by the waterfall. It's not rolling out to sea.
Chris, can I whistle and get my familiar to join me? It's just been flying around, not helping me at all.
Typical.
Roll me a D100.
It can be dead if you like. I hate it. It's been useless, so it can die as far as I can.
Roll me a D100.
Right. 35. Mediocre for some.
If you try and reach out to your familiar with your mind's eye, you get nothing at all. If it was on the ship, it did not survive the landing, or it flew off into the jungle, got lost, got eaten. You have no idea.
I chuckle to myself. I must rest. I have one spell left. I can get us down there. So, is there solid ground, Chris, by the water, or
Yes,
is it just
there is
water down by
there is a pebble beach that extends where the water is falling. Where the waterfall is, no, underneath the waterfall is directly into the sea, and there's also that edging into the cliff that happens when waterfalls are on the side of a coast, where you get this like almost overhang underneath. So there is sort of a watery sort of almost cave system going underneath where the waterfall is, but there is pebble beach around to either side of it. You could easily get down. It would mean getting into the water, which Keita may not want to do, but
Actually, I can't get us all down because Rix's brother's here.
oh,
It's so
Seren is like
quiet.
Seren is just diving in and out of the water like, this is amazing! Just like rolling around in the water, having an amazing time.
Yeah, Rick is is at the shoreline. Is probably just like dipping. You know how like a cat deals with water, just kind of like pokes a paw in and just. This is what Rick has been doing for the past few minutes.
Seren is doing the
Seren.
opposite. Seren is rolling in the shallows, having a wonderful time.
Saren,
Yeah.
Saren, remember that Silt horror?
Yeah, why are we talking about that?
Oh. Do you know what's in that water?
No.
Neither do I.
Roll
And then I'm going to
intimidation
turn
check.
to Keita.
You horrible person. Roll an intimidation
I'm not going
check.
to intimidate Saren. I'm just
You
putting a fact
intimidated
out
Seren.
there.
That is what happened. You just intimidated Seren. I
might
was there.
Be intimidated, but
Roll
you
me
know,
an intimidation check.
that's not
Roll me an
what-
intimidation check. Roll me
Maybe
an
it was
intimidation check. Roll.
Educating.
Roll.
Saren.
Roll me an intimidation check.
So you're terrorizing
my
True
God,
Terry
it's
now.
a nat 20. And I get +2, so that's 22.
Oh no! Oh, scampers out.
Torture and Terry
Shakes the water
all
off.
day long.
Oh no! Noise. Okay, water's bad. Rickus, water's bad. I forgot water was bad. Water's bad. Water's bad. Water's bad. Water's bad. And it's going to keep repeating that under his breath forever.
Rickus definitely looks over at Rystar. Rickus has generally not been super like, I don't trust you to anybody that they've met so far. There is definitely a look of some form of skepticism on Rickus's face as they look over at Rystar.
Mm-hmm. Justified. Okay, good.
Kronqual takes off his water skin that's now really heavy. I need someone to hold this and bring
I
it
will.
down. Okay. And he puts it over your shoulder. And then he goes, I will meet you down there. And he goes over to the river and then he sinks in his into his shell. And I would like to ride the river and waterfall.
You're
into
going to
the ocean
Niagara
below.
Falls it.
Yeah. Like a barrel in Niagara Falls.
Do you know how many people died doing that? I mean, I'm just saying.
Goodbye.
Okay. So, Kronqual, you go skimming out into the water. Do you float? Okay.
I mean,
can
if
you
I
roll
hold my
me-
breath, I'm sure I'm a little buoyant. Which I do.
It's one question.
I could do it up to an
I mean,
hour.
okay.
I mean,
Okay. Turtles obviously are buoyant because they have to be. Are sand turtles buoyant? I'm Googling it.
okay. Because this is where the facts matter in our D&D game.
Look, it's very important. How
Sand
diving
turtles
leatherback turtles
exist.
regulate their buoyancy. Fascinating. Buoyancy regulation. I don't know. Turtles are very good at regulating their own buoyancy.
Hey, that's cool.
I'll take it. I think that's quite a nice added effect here. So you can sort of go, ooh, you can sort of, ooh, you can sort of balance and get a sense
like lazily skimming across the river. Just goodbye.
really slowly bumping around. You're like at the start of one of those wild water rapids rides where you're in the boat.
Yeah,
and it hasn't
exactly.
started yet. You're just sort of there going,
Right.
"Dum, dum, dum. This is about to get scary, but it hasn't happened
to
yet.
get
This is
very
lovely."
scary. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This isn't so bad. You're jostling off the side of the wall of the small spine.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what's
While
So, Cronkpool's doing that.
yeah.
So while Cronkwall's slowly lazy rivering down to the waterfall before he drops over, Gouron's there at the edge of the cliff. He's at the edge of the cliff, kind of on a knee, and I'm just trying to survey. I'm trying to figure out, okay, if we got down to the bottom here, if we made it to the beach, do I see a kind of path that would lead from the beach maybe to that city, to those great pyramid structures? Do I see any kind of shelter along the way? Because that's still like step number one is before they do whatever they do next, like they have to rest. A number of them are very injured.
You don't see any obvious sort of caves that aren't waterlogged. Like this whole environment is waterlogged. The idea of finding somewhere that is dry probably would need to be artificial.
Yeah, I mean he's looking for the best he can get. So if that's a cave, if it's a damp cave, then it's a damp cave. But
there are more damp caves under the waterfall, but you could probably find one that is the least damp.
That's his hope. Somewhere he could start a fire, right? There's plenty of wood around, so.
Yeah, it's all damp wood. Good luck. But as you're sat there looking at this, perusing, going, yes, this is a good plan. I have made good progress here. You're Lewis and Clarking this and with perfect detail. Suddenly next to you, Conqual just bumps down the river.
Oh, we're still going down, right?
Conqual.
This is.
Keep your head tucked in when you go, because you don't want to bump that.
Should have checked before I did this.
Sorry, Peter, what was that?
I should have checked.
No, Don, what did you say?
Oh, I told Cronkwall to keep his head tucked in when he goes down, so he doesn't hit it.
Oh, I thought you said kid.
Yeah. But he will lean back to Kita and he'll say, I think we're gonna have to find a cave. I don't know if it'll help you, if you'll feel better, but I'll do my best to get this fire started, make sure we can rest. But that place out there, and he kind of points to all the ships and the structures. I don't know if that's where they took Caesar or not, but it seems like it's probably the best place to go. Our best shot at finding him, right?
Is there any other way to get down there?
You could try and climb down. You could try and climb down, or magic, obviously.
I have enough
or Featherfall
arcane might to get us down safely, as long as K-Torch can get himself down safely, which I cannot wait to see. I did
Bronco,
like
you're
him,
picking up
but...
speed.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
It's happening, here we go. No.
Chris, while everyone's watching K-Torch, and including myself actually, I'm just leaning down and I've got the water skin from Cronkwall, and I just want to use prestidigitation.
Oh, he also gives you his staff too. Sorry, that would have been bad.
To
I left that.
clean the water, if that's a possible use of it, because I know you can clean or saw or something.
Yeah.
But my point here is A, that it works on the water, and B, that I want to see, with all this abundant vegetation about, if the minor use of... Although I'm going to try preserving magic. As far as I understand it, preserving is just the other side of the coin from defiling. So I want to see how this interacts with the abundant vegetation.
As you preserve, using preserving magic around you, the plant growth around you sort of sprouts ever so slightly, and it it almost is emboldened by the use of magic around it, and like you can see a flower on the bank just turn towards the sun and just open out. You are definitely having an impact on the world around you with your preserving as the water is washed through and cleaned.
If you can help us get down there safe, Rysar, I can always go down at the bottom first and hold up my hands and try to make sure everyone else stays dry as possible.
I think we can aim for the dry land.
I mean, dry land is drier land, like it's not dry. It's just less wet. But yes, you can make your way down with Featherfall, obviously. But before then, well, Cronkwall, the speed's picking up more and more.
Well, he's almost there.
And suddenly, just all of a sudden, you speed up a bit, and then just you're off the edge.
Okay, come on, everyone, catch up with Cronkwall, and I start sprinting towards the edge.
Cord, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. How about survival? All right, you have dexterity it is.
No.
Oh wait, hold on. Don't take that number. I rolled dice here, and I got a 7.
Okay.
Was that worse than what I rolled in the game? In the roll 20, probably. 7 it is.
Yeah. Everyone else running towards the cliff edge?
Yeah, I'll jump.
Yeah.
Okay. You like you jump? Keita, you jump? Rysar, you run and jump? Ricketts, do you run and jump?
Grabbing Saren's hand and yep.
The water's bad. Water's bad. Water's bad. Water's bad. This guy says he's running forward with you towards the edge. Okay.
I cast...
You all run and jump.
Lightning bolt.
I knew it. This is the perfect moment.
No, I cast Featherfall. Yay!
Cool. Featherfall doesn't slow your fall to 0. It doesn't mean you fall. It means you fall. 60 feet around, and you land lightly. Yeah. Exactly. So you're going to get to the bottom in about 7 seconds, which is still, quite quick. If you don't want to land in water, you're going to have to be rolling some kind of saving throw to not land in water.
Arcane hang glider.
Mm-hmm.
Acrobatics?
I would allow a dex saving throw if you like. What we got?
Is it just me or everyone?
Gurlok's going to try to.
Apart from Cronkwall, who has no choice where he falls because he's just fallen.
Oh! I've taken Gulag's. I've taken Don's nat 20 streak, made it my own. That was an actual 20.
Wow!
+2.
Nice.
Oh no,
Right, so you very gently and delicately float down to some of the drier patches where you're not actually in the surf. Peter?
I got a nat 1.
What the fuck?
Drops like a rock.
Bree, can I buy you some new dice? Is that okay? Can I buy them and send them to you?
No, I'm literally using full one on D&D Beyond.
Oh.
Okay. Beyond. How dare you?
As you go, you impact water with a big old splash. Straight in.
This will be fine.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
I got a 19.
You can also direct yourself more towards the drier part of where the waves crash in and able to land on the beach out of the sea foam. Rickus?
I have a dirty 20.
Cool. Your brother rolled a 6. So you float over and Saren just is flying out and just lands sploosh, directly into the water like a cannonball.
Chris, with the nat 20, am I able to do some aeronautical acrobatics?
I'd say you can, yeah, why not?
I'm thinking like a Terry might be small enough that I could sort of just like bat Seren a bit over towards the land.
Sure.
Yeah?
If you.
I think Keita, you're like normal human size, right? Even though you're Genasi. You're medium,
Yeah.
not small, yeah? Yeah, so I'm sort of thinking the Terry I could probably even like pull the tail.
Oh god! Don't pull a Terry's
But
tail.
in order to save Saren, who I think would be useless in a rushing river rapid situation.
Well, it's the sea. You're jumping into the sea. But yes, you can grab hold of Seren and pull. You can manage to pull Seren out of falling into the water and potentially drowning. It's very useful as well. But as all of you float to one side, Keita, you spoosh impact directly into the sea. And Cronkwall, you fall very, very quickly. I think probably one of those jump cuts where you get a
Different angle, same fall. Yeah,
exactly. And you fall down 75 feet into water, and you are not diving. You're not being. You're just literally just going straight down. What I will
let
can
the
you
water take me?
Okay, your shoulders.
We just couldn't rest, could we? We just couldn't rest, could we, team? Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. I thought we were going to get closer to the Pearl to rest. I also heard that you were missing a person for a feather fall, so I was like, well, I'll just go down this way.
You take 17 points of damage as you impact the water. Hard.
Are you conscious?
I'm conscious, yeah.
Oof.
But as you impact the water... As you impact the water, do you pop out of your shell?
No, it stays in it for a bit.
Okay,
in normal turtle fashion, he waits till whatever the action is to settle down before he pops out.
Okay, so you see Gulag you see Cronkwall hit the water and then float to the top, and then is sort of being washed in by the waves slightly and just floating wildly around. Keita is nowhere to be seen. Just impacted the water and just vanished.
Okay. So Gulag, once he lands, then he's looking out to the ocean, to the waves, like they're crashing. He can't see Keita. He sees Cronkwall's shell pop up, but he doesn't know if Cronkwall's okay. He doesn't know if Cronkwall's going to get driven back out to the ocean. And so, he imagines for a moment all of the things that could be under here in this alien place underneath the water. And he does his best to swallow. He gulps, puts it out of his mind, and he's going to swim. Yeah, he's going to try to swim and grab Cronkwall and use Cronkwall.
Do you know how to swim?
No. I mean, he's been in water before, but never in an ocean, right? Like, he's been in a river before, stream before, but never an ocean.
Okay.
But he's going to try to get out there and use Cronkwall. If Cronkwall's floating, get to Cronkwall and use him as like a flotation device.
Yeah.
See if, you know what I mean? See if he can't like hop up on top and maybe like belly
You can't
surf.
stand on Cronkwall. You are 13 foot tall, like thousands upon thousands of pounds. No way. Like you
This, because I just remembered I have body equilibrium, which means that I can change my bone density using psionics and run over.
It's ridiculous.
I read that
Run
out.
over
It
surfaces.
does not say
No,
water.
It doesn't say water. It says dust, silt, mud, snow, or thin ice.
Does it say water though?
It says when moving over soft or brittle terrain. So
This is neither soft nor brittle. It's water.
Can you reach the
YOLO, he's gonna
bottom?
try
You're
it.
massive.
I'm probably gonna go straight there, boss. He's gonna try it,
As you move out into the water, you start doing that thing that very large people do when you get into bodies of water and just do the kind of, I need to move my arms and swim, but you're walking along the bottom. Just your head is still way above the water. You're just walking along the bottom going, this is definitely right. Just like trying to
I'm
make
swimming
your way
now, I think.
out.
Yeah.
and you get to Cronqual, and he's bobbing at about this height for you, and you're just like, oh, hey, like, I've got a flotation device.
Head out
But if
for a
anything,
moment.
you're pulling Cronqual further down than actually using him to float.
Yeah. I think he pulls his head out for a second as like, okay, worst part's over. And then goes right back in.
Yeah. I don't think he has a good game plan here. I'll try to see if I can find her. Yeah, because he knows that Kita's like her fire's going out, and she just went into the water. So he's gonna like if he has to swim, if he has to dive, if he has to drown, he's gonna look for her.
Kita, as you impact the water and as you sink below it, you can feel it seeping into all of you, and you can feel that it's definitely like you can feel all of your heat, your energy, your essence being pulled out of you. What would you like to do?
It sounds like Constitution save. Okay.
Well, she can't swim, so and she fell 75 feet into the water. So
you were feather falling, so there's no damage on that.
Oh, okay. I mean, she's kind of in shock right now, so I mean, I don't know what to do.
It's all right.
She can.
Is Kita boiling the water around her like a hot rock, like a hot stone?
I don't think I would even be strong enough because I mean, I'm surrounded by water, so it's like, I can try it. I guess I would.
So you are an earthen creature, so you sink like a rock.
Yeah, and now that my molten parts of my body solidified, that makes me even heavier. So yeah,
correct.
Probably sink to the bottom.
What's on your sheet? What you got?
I don't have much magic, like at all. I just have eruption, heated, and
what does eruption do?
It's where I can trap enemies in magma that try to hit me.
I have something.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, and heated is where I can put heat into something that I'm using to cause more fire damage. So
you've never experienced this much water, and you realize that it has a cooling effect. It does. Water has a cooling effect on fire. But you also start to recognize that this is just another element. Like you are a combination of of fire and earth. And you're aware of air as a context point. This fourth element being added in at this point for you is less about I have created a situation I cannot escape, and more, can I do something that I couldn't usually do? Is this different? How can I use this? How can I, like the extra heat from the sun made you harder, tougher, more resilient, like it built up context for you. Your magma spread further, your skin became harder. How would the water affect you in this way?
I'm really bad at science, okay?
Cool. For example, I would allow, because you're a Genasi and you're connected to the elements, you're connected to the elemental planes around you, do you superheat the water around you so that it almost boils away from you? Do you harden? Does the flash cooling harden you into sort of almost a statue-like form? Do you maintain your central core of heat by the outside of you shielding and protecting it? Do you even start tapping into some of the air around you and becoming almost mist-like and floating above? I'd allow all of these things. I love the idea that this can be a moment of change, a moment of rejuvenation.
So, volcanoes can absolutely exist underwater.
Absolutely they can.
Especially magma. So I can, like, once I feel my body hit the seabed, I can put my hands into the earth, and I can use the last bit of energy that I have to start like creating this explosion, just building it up as much as I can, so that way the seabed kind of bursts me up into the air, almost just erupting. So that way I can at least get to the surface, and I can try to keep myself afloat as much as possible, so that way Gulag could possibly grab me.
As you land and place your hands beneath you, you are superheating the ground underneath you. And as you do, the water boils and bubbles around you, and you almost create a sense of suction or flow. You're almost creating a whirlpool in the ocean above you that is drawn down to you by the sheer heat of the ocean floor that you're creating. I just Googled this and it looks incredible. As you place your hands beneath there, you are building up land mass. You are super cooling and superheating the ground at such a degree that you're almost rising out of the ground with a new spit of igneous rock that you are forming beneath you. And you almost aerial this moment, just coming out of the water and just standing on this new rock that you have formed in front of you as you stand in the middle of the ocean on this tongue of land that you've created underneath you.
Oh, okay. So I kind of just fall to my hands and knees on the rock because, I mean, I have no energy left. And I just stay there until someone can get to me, trying not to like slip into unconsciousness anymore.
It probably takes everything out of you, but you do sort of like you all see this sort of eruption out of the water, and Kita is made a new island. Small one, very small one, but there is a new island that she is just standing on. She was only like 5 feet below the surface of the water. It wasn't that far down. Like, this isn't like huge drop off, because it wouldn't be. It's just that blown out of the water entirely.
Gulag will continue wading towards now where Kita is.
The water's like 5 feet deep. It's you can.
Yeah, he's splashing through it. Then he's really high. I'll let you go. Yeah, sorry. Misjudged this situation. Stomp out towards the island and hold out 2 large palms down towards Kita and just kind of lean forward and say, "Hey, that was amazing. Are you all right?"
Yeah, I'm great.
Oh yeah.
You're here in the distance. That was so cool.
In the background, like I'm laying on the beach, just.
You can tell it's Vickers versus Saren because Vickers does this.
Sarah next to you is just like going, no, water's bad. There'll be things in the water. Still freaking out.
Entirely broken.
That sounds great. And she's gonna kind of fall like limply into Gulag's hands and just pass out. She's done.
Yeah. Gulag, while you're out here in the water holding Kita and Cronkwall bobbing away, I mean, are you still sort of keeping Cronkwall with you, or are you...
Yeah, I imagine when Cronkwall starts to float too far away, he like reaches out with one hand and grabs the shell and just kind of pushes it in the direction he wants it to go, and just kind of pushing him along the surface.
While you are pushing Cronkwall along and holding on to Kita, Rysar Rickus, you can see as well that on the beach near the surf, the ship floater orb is just rolling gently in the waves. And as it rolls gently in the waves, there is someone in the water next to it.
Well, I stroll over. It's going to be the captain. Or my
They're-
familiar, one of the two.
The orb is rotating in the water, just being rolled constantly by the water and by the waves. And the captain's in the water next to it, and they, as you move over, you can see they are breathing, but they look in pretty bad shape. Look like they've swallowed half the ocean. Like they're definitely like, it's not so much a beaten, battered, and bruised, more of a probably tried to grab hold of the orb as it fell and landed in the water with it and don't know how to swim.
Sirocco, can you hear me? I'm using my mind.
You get nothing.
Is it out in the deeps, or is it wadable
rolling,
water? Or
very, very much. You could tread. You could walk. It's like barely a foot of water.
okay, I'll walk to
On the
it,
beach.
and I want to try and touch the orb.
Okay, as you reach
Rickus
out and
would like
touch
to
your...
try to drag the captain out.
Great, please do. No problem. Thank you.
They watch Reister just go right to the orb, and they're just
Walk
like,
right past.
yeah. So they're gonna
Step
scramble
over the
over
captain.
and
I'm sorry.
yeah, they're gonna scramble over and grab the captain by like around the shoulders.
You can pull them out of the ocean. That is fine. And would you have any knowledge of the idea of water in someone's lungs is probably completely alien to all of you as a context point.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like drowning in the silt is a very different experience than drowning water.
Yeah.
So
Although
it's probably just a lot of like awkward padding as they try to figure out what's wrong.
What's this? Yeah, okay. Roll me a medicine check with disadvantage.
That for me. Let's go. Oh, that's
I rolled-
still a 14.
Yeah, I rolled to see how alive they are because I wanted to be fair to this moment. I rolled a nat 20. As you sort of pat them on the head and face, something that's
Oh, you're good. You're conscious and alive. Clearly, if you're conscious, you have to be alive. Hi, you okay? Are you okay?
What is this feeling? It's like all my feathers are moist.
You fell into a lot of water. Like a lot of water.
Someone's selling barrels. Oh, no, I remember now. It was water. And just turns over and just vomits water copiously. Good, right?
Yeah.
Right up. As you reach out and touch the shipfloat orb, it stops rolling. It is large, like it is a large size. It's about the same size, about 5 foot diameter as described. But as you reach out and touch it, it sort of stops rolling and bobs slightly. And as you touch it and reach out with your mind, you get a... Well, this is a wholly unpleasant experience.
I mean, you've had it before, though, haven't you? Changing ships, being eaten by the silt horror, etc.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about not being in the ship. That's, I'm used to that. That's just the way these things go sometimes. No, I mean the constant rolling over on top of yourself. If I had a mouth, I'd be vomiting copiously.
Ah, well, I'm pleased you don't have a mouth. Shall we go to the shore? Can you move?
How would I move?
Well, you're rotating and not rotating, and
I'm
So
not
you
doing that
know
out of
is the
choice.
okay. I mean, sorry, forgive me. You can transport a ship between planes, so I thought maybe,
Oh, I
going
need
to
a ship
shore.
for that. The whole sort of moving yourself personally is a little outside my comfort zone, considering I don't have arms, legs,
I stand seawards of it and cast the cantrip Gust to try and blow it towards the shore and towards
Well,
everyone.
you can't hear it because you're not touching it anymore. But inside it is going rolls its way onto. It's not the orb itself is not particularly heavy. It is unwieldy, but it is not heavy. You also note as you push it along, no scuff marks, no scratches, no nothing.
Isn't it made of obsidian?
You don't know what it's made of.
Okay. I chuckle to myself and go to shore with everyone.
Sure.
Friends.
Hello.
You can all
Associates.
reconvene around the captain, Seren keeping a wide berth of Ressa.
We rest now.
There
would
are
love us
caves.
to rest.
Under the waterfall, and there are some that go up into the rock that are clearly less waterlogged than the others, where you could find somewhere to rest. That is no problem.
I start heading towards caves.
Do you take the ship floater orb? Help anyone?
I mean, if it's possible, just to sort of push it. Yeah.
Cool. Roll me a strength check.
Oh. You said it was not... What, can I use gust to constantly blow it along? Sometimes
In water,
comedically.
nearly everything is very easily movable. On land, things are not easily, removable.
Oh, then
Could you
obviously...
help push this up the hill?
Gulag, could you ship floater? Thanks.
You're are you still carrying Cronqual and Keita?
I mean, if we're back to shore, I think Crockwall's not unconscious, right? Crockwall can walk.
Yeah, he can walk around.
Yeah. Is Keita unconscious?
Yes.
Okay. So I think Gulagal, what's larger, the ship floater orb or Keita?
About the same size.
Yeah, so
Is Keita dead?
Gulagal, no, boss. She's just really tired and needs to rest. So
And she's
I'm
rock
gonna
right
take.
now?
Yeah.
There is a certain rockiness to Keita that where the rockiness beforehand had that kind of the heat made more of the lava expand out of her. It now looks more like parts of Keita are almost like a statue, almost sculpted cleanly.
Risa, could I have my staff, please?
Sure, I was carrying it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And he's going to. What? And then he's going to take the stick and hold it right in the center. But he's going to hold it over Kita's unconscious body, and then cast Thorn Whip, maybe, and then try to tie Kita maybe an arm and a leg with both ends of the staff, so it's like a flaccid vine now, and then try to use that to drag Kita up the mountain.
That's damage.
That would probably be quite painful. And also, can we not say flaccid vine again? Right, so... I don't think you could carry someone with Thorn Whip. I don't think that would work that way.
But I could pull people, and it's a cantrip.
You could push the orb if you wanted to.
Right. We could have Gulag push the orb. I can pull Kita up the hill.
I think let's not drag someone. That's what I'm saying. Can we not drag the human across the floor?
I guess we could do
I can carry Keita, and I'm going to go up to that cave up there and start a fire because I think she needs warmth. And
I will stay here.
We'll cover it so nobody sees. But we all need to rest and regather our strength because we're just getting started here.
You can all you could all working together with the captain's assistance as Sarkix gets up and they shake their feathers out and start to sort of regain. You could all move with the orb and Keita up to this cave together. No problem at all. The orb can be rolled. It won't be particularly happy about it, but it can be rolled.
You could just carry Kita. Like 2 people could just carry Kita. I don't know why I thought of that elaborate spell thing. 2 people could just carry Kita.
Yeah. But you can make your way up to one of these caves. It is not dry inside, but if you manage to... You'd have to find wood and dry it out to make a fire, which would be difficult. Gulag, roll me a survival check to find some dry wood.
Okay. $25.
Cool. You do manage to find that some of the higher branches don't have the same kind of drip down effects. You can manage to find some ways to just grab a tree, pull it down, cut off the end, split the wood, take the thin bark off the outside, and you've got relatively dry wood. So you'd be able to use that to make a fire inside this cave.
Yeah, this is sort of, this doesn't come up a lot, but like creating a quick camp, disguising the camp with foliage over the cover of the cave mouth and to avoid the light shining out from the fire to the outside. Mm-hmm. This is Gulag's thing. Like, he's done this again and again. The environment's different, but he adapts quickly to do his best to very swiftly create a safe, warm, as much as possible, dry camp for everybody.
It's already quite warm in this environment. It's quite a sort of deep heat, but you are drying this cave out, and you're all able to sit in, and you all feel more comfortable in here than you do outside because it's just drier as the fire pushes some of the water out, and the smokiness fills it a little bit, and there's actually more of a sense of home in this small cave that you've now created. The captain is sat to one side, drying themselves off. Saren is very pleased to not see any water for a bit. Forever scarred. The orb is off to one side. Keita, if you're near the fire, you will slowly start to see those veins forming back up Keita's arms, and the heat starting to allow you to unstone yourself and become more like your regular self in this environment again as well. And you all have a chance to rest for as long as you want to, however long you want to work this out and work out what you want to do next.
Long rest.
You can long, you can short, whatever you need.
100% long rest. Cool. Chris, I'm going outside to make sure that we really can't be seen from outside and that the smoke's not escaping.
Sure. Roll me a survival check.
Essentially. Will it be perception? Can I do
No,
perception?
It would be survival. No.
I'm not trying to do surviving. I'm just trying to perceive.
If you're looking to see where the smoke is going, and if you're visible from a certain height, that is the definition of a survival check.
11. Lucky for some.
As you step out of the cave and look back at it, you can see that Gulag's done a fantastic job of hiding it because this is one of Gulag's specialties. No roll required. It's one of his class features. But as Gulag has made it, it is very clearly not visible from the outside. It is starting to get dark, and you see in the sky that there is... The sun appears to be quite dim, and most of the sky, now that it's coming around to nighttime, is taken up by a gigantic yellow sphere that fills a good 2/3 of it. Yellow and red.
Much larger, too, yeah.
Yeah, to the sky.
From my research in Caesar's library, and can I hypothesize, or do we in fact just know that we are on a moon orbiting Athas?
Roll me an intelligence check.
12, lucky for some. For some who
you can probably put 2 and 2 together. You can probably put 2 and 2 together. You can probably go, we're probably on the moon. One of the moons.
Oh, I go back inside.
What's everyone doing during the long rest? Thank you. You can rest, you can sleep, you can regain hit points, all the rest of it. But is anyone talking? Is anyone trying to work out what they do now? Talking about how they're feeling?
I want Gulag, once everybody's kind of gathered and maybe like, you know, I don't know what passes for food or what they have on them. Probably not much. So I imagine like folks are getting hungry too. But once they're kind of settled down and everybody's gathered around the fire in the cave, he's been looking really pensively at his friends. Because everybody just looks tired and hurt in different ways, and just so out of place here in this environment. And once Rysar comes back in, I think he'll say, we gotta talk about what comes next. I feel like we ain't been on the same page always this journey. And if we have any chance to stop whatever's happening and to get back home, people that we care about, we have to do it together, 100%.
Yes. I am unsure what we do now. We don't have a ship, and we just have the Sirocco that powered it. I don't know. Did anyone see the civilization toward the over there, the coast side?
Yeah.
I mean, you can put the Sirocco in anything you want. That's kind of the point. I mean, it's not going to be the Sirocco anymore. It'll be something else now, but, yeah.
So we steal one of those ships, stash the Sirocco stone in it, and...
I mean, it takes a little more than that. I'm going to have to, like, fit it properly. If you don't fit it properly, then it don't work.
Yes, yes.
What do you need to do that?
Oh, there's a process. You gotta, build a socket, and then you gotta, like...
What do you need, Captain?
Time.
You have a ship.
Just
Very
time.
well.
Anything else is there I can work with, but I need time where I'm undisturbed.
Well, we know where the Sirocco is. It's near the waterfall. We could go there, and whenever we can, maybe, and find the socket of the Sirocco.
Oh, don't worry about that. Like, that'll be... No. I'll start from scratch. No, whatever ship we need, we're going to have to find a place to build it right into the deck, right into the hull. It's the best place for it. But we'll have to do whatever's there with whatever's there. I don't need, like, a specific one. I just need some time to make sure it fits, you know?
Okay.
Gulag, you bring up a most important and valuable point. Fatigued as I am, we should all attempt at least to get on the same page. Keita. Rickus. May I ask what your intentions are with our merry band? I am going to do the psionic power detect thoughts as I say that and shallowly delve into Keita's mind first and then into Rickus's. I expect I won't find much in Rickus's though.
Wow.
The shade is real.
There is no saving throw for surface thoughts, and if a question is asked, surface thoughts tend to be a response to that question. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're both welcome to kill him.
Rysar is Elvish. Rysar does mean ass in Elvish. So.
Nice ass.
Bree, hit me up in the private DM.
Oh.
That's inspired. Nice. I shall read out the description.
It's fine, Toad. What are you both thinking in response to that question?
Anna, why don't you?
Are you thinking? Are you? I mean, that's if that's what you're thinking, then Risa, that's what you get.
No, that's not what I'm thinking.
Who is Tiana?
Anna.
I think Rickus is confused by the question.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a very distinct why is he asking? Let's come up.
Yep, that's a fine answer. Risa, Rickus thinks, why are you asking? Peter?
Literally 0% surprise there. Cool.
So the first thing that immediately comes to her mind is for Caesar. That's all you get.
I'm then going to skim over to
4 Caesars is what? I'm sorry, this isn't mine.
Yeah, Peter's here for the 4 seasons, but it's important to note which 4 here for, because people get that wrong all the time.
Exactly why she's there.
Yeah.
Exactly why.
No.
I then want to skip to Cronqual. Cronqual's mind. And I say verbally, why are we all here? This is a dreadful power. This is a terrible power.
Why are you...
And that's why you have it. I think you hear in Cronqual's mind, nope, that's not it. Yeah, he's just...
That was coming in.
Pay attention, just Terry dancing. I think he is... I think you hear him... Why are we all here?
To kill Caesar. Actually, to stop Caesar.
I don't think he would say kill.
Are we all here to kill Caesar? And then I flit back to Kita. Yes or no?
Is no one answering these questions? Are you all just like listening to him ramble? Is like...
Gulag thinks this is just like Rysar's process, right?
Yeah.
Asking questions, like he's working through it.
Okay.
And everybody's like confused.
Loves the speech as well.
Rickus has the fucking math equation flying through there.
Hold on. Wait a second. Hold on.
Seren is thinking of the Badger song. A snake. Oh my god, it's a snake.
I can't do anything. I'm not a magic user. Yes. Yeah.
Everyone is, as always, welcome to roll an insight check at any point.
I think at this point, Rickus is. I think the word to kill Caesar popped finally registers. It's like, wait, is that what we're doing? I thought we were.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Nobody had told Rickus. No one. They have been going on this entire thing.
Been on the
original
ride
deal.
this whole time.
We're only 12
original
episodes in. Why would you think anything different?
I got a 12 on that insight. I don't know if that counts for anything.
Risa, you are... Lying is a strong word at this point because you're not being deceptive, but you are using a spell to be a little bit... What is your passive deception? Yeah, I understand. What is your passive deception?
There's no such thing as passive deception, is there?
It's your deception modifier plus 10. It's how deceptive you can be on average without trying to do anything clever or difficult or different.
Okay.
Passives are the same in any class. We have passive perception for a specific reason because of stealth checks.
Deception plus 10.
Okay, so your passive deception is a 20. No, if it's plus 10, it's 20. Your passive deception is 20.
Oh. It just says I've got a deception modifier of plus 2, so...
Oh, then it is 12. Your passive deception is 12. Keita, what did you roll?
I rolled a 12.
12. Something about the way Rysar's asking these questions make you think there's more to this than just someone asking questions and having a process and working through it.
So, Kita's gonna sit up, because you've disturbed her from her sleep, obviously. And... Rysar, what are you getting at?
My good friend Gulag here just made the very good point that we should all be on the same page. In truth, we barely know each other.
Okay, well,
Even...
why are you here?
Ostensibly, I'm here to kill Caesar. And in truth, I am here, amongst other reasons, to kill Caesar.
That's fair.
Cronquil.
Oh, yes. I also have a question, Rysar. But if you have a question, you first.
When we tried to take Caesar, you interceded on his behalf.
Hmm?
Why?
Because I was told and promised by Taruk that if I was to bring Caesar back to Balak, my name would be cleared.
Insight check. I want to see if that's actually...
Sure, go for it.
Kator wouldn't lie to me. I trust everything he says. Rysar's not that person. Insight check.
That's fair.
14.
Good.
14. Sorry.
Telling the truth?
Yep.
As suspected. I am...
Could I ask my question now?
Of course, Cronquil.
Very well. When we were all in the land between the winds, we had someone named Horson join for a moment. And you recognize the name?
Yes.
This isn't my question. This is a sub-question upon my original question. He then said and mentioned that next time that he did mention and bring up it looked like a scaly hide of tattoos, I remember, but I don't remember why. But I also remember that he wanted us to ask you about what you know of Horson and why you would know each other.
Horson asked you to ask me what I know of Horson.
Yes, it was mainly not about what. It wasn't a question for him. It was a question for you to tell us about your involvement with Horson.
He wanted you to tell the story of how you met.
Yes,
the old
that's
pig
it.
thinks, you think I'm a doppelganger. This is very interesting because I feel perhaps that either you or we have been led astray because we are under a mission from Taruk to kill Caesar. I was forced, in all honesty, I was not asked. However, I do believe Caesar must die for the good of all Balak. I met Horson many moons ago in the desert on the way to Tyr. We came upon a temple, him and I alone with no others. And a spirit of an old dead elf spoke to us. There were some raiders as well and such. The memory is foggy, but I most likely saved him and Taruk, who he was with. Gulak, were you there?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I was
Were you?
there. I didn't go to the temple, but yeah, I was there.
No. I hope this satisfies your question, Cronquo.
I guess it's what if that's what Horson wanted us to know, then I assume yes.
If we get in touch with Horson or the wizard who was with them, or Akasha or Lixmerilla again, then it is important for them to know that High Praetor Nadia has been bought by the yuan-ti. Sorry, we don't know they're called yuan-ti, do we? Has been bought by the snake people. I came across her in the land between the winds. And I shall wait for Chris to return.
I want to say during this conversation, Gulag is very, very pensive, and he's listening, and he sits up a little bit and stretches his back, and he interjects and he says, "I've been thinking about this a lot, Rysar and everyone. We're sent out here because those shapeshifters, those things that found their way into Balak, trying to create havoc. We don't know what they want. They want Caesar for something. We were sent out here to keep them from getting whatever they want from Caesar. Well, we could go out there and we could grab Caesar and bring him back with us if we can find a way back. That we can get that orb into a new ship if the ship still works the way it did before. Or we could kill Caesar, and maybe then they don't get what they want. But Rysar, you know, well as I do, if Caesar's dead, Balak's gonna have a whole nother problem. I'm scared. I don't want to cause a war with our actions.
Change is always scary, my larger-than-life friend. Caesar has waged war on the people of Balak for an eon. He is a tyrant without mercy, without compassion. He is a murderer on a grand and historical scale. You may not know this, not many do. However, Caesar Androponus used to go by another name, a name that he was proud of, and that name was Slayer of Elves. You can try to stop me, but I here do swear that if I can in any way, I will destroy Caesar Androponus, even if it means my life.
And I'll also do the same. I'm not leaving or giving up until he's dead.
This is my promise to you, all of you. I don't know what's right or wrong. I don't know that one way is better than the other way. But I'll do everything I can to get us home, all of us, safe. I just hope you know what you're doing, Rysar.
If we kill Caesar, would that stop the war from happening? I don't want to be a cause of death, well, more death than I would have to be. And before you answer, I don't want my home to be in ruin again. So, I will ask, will it stop a war?
Kind of cranes his neck and looks at everybody.
Not killing Caesar will not stop a war. Killing Caesar will not stop a war.
His head hangs low.
I do know is these snake creatures seek and have infiltrated Alec and perhaps other cities of Athas. However, we can fight Caesar, and we can fight them.
Ida looks over to Rickus. Are you okay?
I mean, I guess this is all really big, and I'm really small. Like, I just steal things and make jewelry. This is a lot. But if you were all gonna do the thing, you're right, Racer, I may not have known you for very long, or all of you, and kind of gestures to everybody, but you're still friends. And friends shouldn't leave each other behind.
Seems like a good note to take our break. Come back in 5:10. See how this group managed to move forward from here. When we return to Tales from the Silt Expanse, not currently in the Silt Expanse. You're welcome, Internet. why they are here and what they want to achieve and how they can possibly get away from here. It's all right. All right. Hi everyone. So the second half of this episode is sadly lost to the sands of time. Technical issues, it happens sometimes, but nevertheless, I'm going to try and narrate what happened to you, so you're caught up by the time we show you the next episode next week. So, after the crew of the Sirocco crashed into the forest moon of Guthay, and in doing so completely destroyed their ship with the ship floater orb, only just managing to be saved and brought back by Captain Sarkix from the waters, the big oceans that surround the forests of Guthay. In the cave, as you probably all remember, the party discussed their various allegiances, what they were going to do, how they wanted to do it, and why they wanted to do it, coming to the loose agreement that Caesar had to die. Now that they're all on loosely the same page, they've decided to move forward, and in doing so, stepped out of the cave they had found and trekked their way through the forest, avoiding some more terrible beasties that I carefully had doctored the stat blocks of, with a couple of excellent survival rolls from, mostly from Gulag. There was some assistance being given, but Gulag is a very good ranger, so careful stealthing avoided some larger scale conflicts, not with the yuan-ti yet, but with mostly forest nasties. They made their way to the outsides of this strange yuan-ti city, coming quite close to the docks where they could see a number of boats. Genuine boats, not silt boats or anything like that. Just a sort of classic boat in many ways with a kind of Greco-Roman galleon feel. Nice big front piece with a battering ram on the front. All very cool, all very swish. The captain, Sarkix, took the ship floater orb and reckoned that they could probably steal their way onto these boats. Didn't look particularly well guarded, and in doing so start to attune the Sirocco, as 'twas, to this new ship to become something new, again, another form it's taken in its many, many lifetimes, and in doing so find them potentially a way out of here. The captain wasn't sure, despite some quite decent insight rolls from mostly Rysar. It wasn't too clear whether this was going to be a surefire plan or more of a Hail Mary pass. Regardless, the team left the captain with the orb at one of the boats and started sneaking their way into this yuan-ti city, finding a strange culture, not a hugely different culture from what they'd experienced before, but none of the difficulties around water, none of the difficulties around resource. This seems to be a lush, verdant place, and they seem to be strangely psychically in tune with the lands around them, with the party being able to notice some of the stranger beasties they had encountered being almost controlled by the yuan-ti in various places. This does indeed appear to be their paradise. Stealth rolls were decent. One or two missteps led to almost being discovered, but luckily the party managed to make their way through the city without too much upset, thanks to a couple of well-chosen disguises at the right point in time as well, and also, honestly, me being quite generous and friendly on those rolls to make sure that they could actually make through the city so we could carry on with the story. Anyway. They finally managed to make their way through the city to the large temple, a replica of some of the ones they've seen on Schult and in other parts of the Silt Sea, this strange metal pyramid rising up. However, climbing it was very clearly going to be a problem, as they'd be very visible from a long way around, and it was also very clear that there was no one climbing this temple. So they decided to sneak in at the ground level, see if they could find their way up and into it, or maybe try and find out more about these strange structures, what they do, what they're all about, how they function. But as they stepped inside this strange temple, finding a small, almost like a hatch in the side of it, seemed to lead to some kind of strange drainage system. They started making their way through this, getting very wet and damp and a little bit filthy in the process. And in doing so, they managed to opened themselves out into a wider room, seeing a group of yuan-ti in said room performing some kind of ritual they didn't quite understand. However, a poor stealth roll later, and the yuan-ti were turning, gazing upon the party, raising their weapons in attack, and that's where we left for that day. So, that's where we'll pick up next time, with a big old fight with some yuan-ti in the bottom of a metal temple. You're welcome, Internet. Join us next time. Thank you all for watching so much, and thank you again to our sponsors, Lambert House, Dark Dice, Level Up Dice, Wormwood Gaming, and for the first time, Warriors of Waterdeep. A lovely mobile game for you D&D fans out there. Do check it out at Warriors of Waterdeep. So, we'll see you next time for more Tales from the Silt Expanse, which took me a second to get to because I'm not actually there right now, but yes. But join us next time for more Rise of the Veiled Alliance and hopefully more gameplay and less narration from me. Have a good night, everyone.